welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am in the 6125 and I am raking hay. In my older YouTube videos I kind of talked about how this is my first year ever baling hay. I've obviously been around other people baling hay before, but personally I have never done it. So this year I've been looking on auctions and calling around to purchase hay equipment. So the things that I have bought this year are my rake, a square baler, a accumulator, and then also a bale grabber. So if you know anything about hay, the main thing I'm missing is a mower. So yesterday, no actually 2 days ago, I had a farmer come in who had a mower custom do my entire pastures. He charges by the acre, and so once that was done, the rest of the process can kind of be done by myself. So yesterday I started raking the hay, and if you're not familiar with raking the hay, basically once it is mowed, it is left in these kind of strips, and the rake will come behind, combining all that hay into a larger strip, and that's called a windrow. The purpose of a windrow is to dry the hay, because you cannot bale wet hay or wet grass, whatever you're baling. You can't bale it up wet. And then also to kind of get it into a more uniform windrow, a thicker windrow, so that way it can be picked up by my square baler more effectively. Square balers kind of need a constant feed of grass, hay, whatever. It needs a constant feed of it, so that's kind of the main purpose of a windrow. Yesterday, after I kind of experimented with my new rake, I didn't record it for YouTube because I don't know if you can tell, but my property is fairly hilly, and so as I'm trying to experiment with a new piece of equipment and record, it doesn't work. So yesterday I just spent trying to get to know this rake, how to do windrows, a lot of time like calling and asking questions to other people that I know that do hay, making sure I'm doing it correctly. And so now I am actually going to be starting this pasture that I'm in. I did not get to it yesterday, and all of the other pastures that I got to yesterday, it actually, as I was wrapping up with everything yesterday, there was a surprise shower. So if you're a farmer or you know anything about hay, rain is not your friend. So this morning I basically had to spend double the hours re-raking everything. So back at it again. I thought it'd be fun to show you kind of start to finish with raking in this new pasture. And before we get started with raking, let me show you my new rake, because it's my first ever hay rake and I'm very excited about this piece of equipment. All right, ta-da! This is my new rake. So I bought it used, but it's basically brand new. I mean, it still has all of its original paint, so that's a good thing, and it seems to be working pretty well for me. It has 5 rakes on it, and it has the ability for me to run both sides at the same time, or just one side. I'm still kind of messing around with the settings and adjustments, but so far so good. So this rake implement is pretty simple. It's not driven by a motor or hydraulics. It is just driven by the ground speed. So these rakes actually spin as you're driving. And then it forms a V, if you can see here. And that is what's forming that windrow. I think it's hard to explain. I feel like it's something that'll be better shown in video, so I'll definitely try to point it out when I videotape it. So as I'm going to rake, I just have kind of full RPMs on my engine, and then I go pretty much as fast as I feel comfortable, anywhere from 3 to 9 miles an hour, depending, you know, on the hills and whatnot. I'm kind of just eyeballing it and following the path that the mower made. And if I am going and making my windrows and I miss any bits of hay, I will come back through the other direction. So let's do this. I feel like I have a lot of, you know, I have a decent harvest, a decent tonnage, so I'm excited to see how things turn out. wondering, if you're watching this, why I'm raking fairly slowly, you can kind of tell in the videos that I'm not going super fast, and the main reason is, number one, I'm not a pro at this. This is just my second time ever raking, and number two, it is so extremely bumpy in the cab on these hills that if I was going super fast, I would not be able to get any footage with my camera. I mean, it's kind of hard to even record as is, but this bumpy field is not making it any easier. And my tripod is like balancing on my door slash buddy seat, and it's not meant for a tripod. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to get some footage because I feel like it's super cool recording like my first time ever harvesting, my first time ever baling hay, and so I wanted to bring you guys along. Tonnage is pretty low, and that's just because the water runs down the hills and the grass is not as lush, but in my valleys it is super lush, so hopefully they'll kind of even each other out and I'll get a ton of square bales because I have 15 horses, so it's a lot of mouths to feed. Fields that I have rarely have terraces. It's super flat, and so I'm not super experienced with hills, so I'm extremely grateful that I have duals because I constantly feel, I know I'm not, but I constantly feel like I'm about to be flipping this thing over. Between two mowing calves, and then I'm pushing it into a V shape and then making one solid line called the windrow. So I hope that kind of shows better than I've explained. It is now the next day. Yesterday I got all of my windrows raked, and now I am ready for baling this hay. I actually have a neighbor coming to round bale half of it for our goats, and the other half I'm going to be square baling for my horses. So tune in for the next YouTube video while I attempt to run my brand new square baler. Bye!